Shochenat Maharom V'kadosh Shemo Befi Yisharim Titala Udivrei Sadikim Titbarach Shochenat Maharom V'kadosh Shemo Shochenat Maharom V'kadosh Shemo.
We turn to page 148, Chatzi Kaddish.
Yitgadal v'yitgadash Shemei Rabbi Ve'alma divra chirutei Ve'amlich machutei B'chayechon v'yomechon V'chayei l'chol Beit Yisrael Ba'agala u'bizman karim V'meru Amen Yehi Shmei Rabba Mevorach Le'alam Le'al Me'amaya Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitba'ar V'yitrumam V'yitnaseh V'yitadar V'yitaleh V'yitalo Shemei Dekudeshah Leila min kol b'chata v'shirata Tushbechata v'nechemata Damiran be'alma V'meru Amen.
We invite you to rise as we join together in Baruch Hu, page 149.
Sing with us. Ya la la la, ya la la la, ya la la la, ya la la la, ay la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la la la, la la la. Baruch Hu Adonai Hamevorach. Baruch Adonai Le'olam Va'ed Ya la 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 Ya la 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 Ya la 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 Ya la 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 Ya la 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 Ay la 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 Ya la 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 Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Yotzer or uvorei choshech Oseh shalom uvorei et hakol Ya la 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 Ya la 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 Ya la 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 Ya la 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 la
We're at the bottom of page 153, or Chadash.
Die, 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 Words are easy. I die, die. I die, die, die. I die, die. Or Chadash al Tzion Ta'ir v'nizkeh chulan mehera le'oro. Or Chadash al Tzion Ta'ir v'nizkeh chulan mehera le'oro. Or Chadash al Tzion Ta'ir v'nizkeh chulan mehera le'oro. Or Chadash al Tzion Ta'ir v'nizkeh chulan mehera le'oro. Dai, 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 Baruch atah Adonai Yotzer HaMe'oru.
Page 154, Ahava Rabbah.
love, an opportunity for us to join together, lilmod u'lilamed, to learn and to study and to teach, lishmor v'la'asot, to guard and to do, ekol divrei Talmud Toratecha be'ahava, all of God's commandments and all of the beautiful things of which you all have done, so much so the past few months and beyond. Baruch atah Adonai abocher b'amo Yisrael be'ahava. Praise are you, God, who lovingly cares for the people Israel. The Shema is on page 155.
Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha v'b'chol nafshecha v'b'chol me'odecha v'hayu ha'devarim ha'eleh asher Anochi mitzavecha hayom ha'olaveka v'shinatam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'leitecha u'lechtecha b'derech u'v'shokbecha u'v'kumecha u'kshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotefot b'neinecha u'ktavtam al mezuzot b'techa u'visharecha.
Continue silently, page 156.
Vayomer Adonai el Moshe Lemor, Daber el Bnei Yisrael, ve'amarta lehem, ve'asu lahem tzitzit, al kanfei bitehem, ledorotam, ve'natnu, al tzitzit hakanav, tzitzit techedet, V'hayalachem etzitzit uritem oto uzchartem et kol mitzvot Adonai v'asitem otam ve'lo taturu acharei levavchem ve'acharei lechem asher atem plonim achareihem leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'item kedoshim Elohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher otzeiti echem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem Elohim ani Adonai Elohechem Adonai Elohechem Amen.
We're at the top of page 157.
We give our tzitzit one last kiss as we say the words Lador, Vador, on
Top of page 157.
There you go. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Redor vador, redor vador, hu kayam u'shemo kayam, v'chiso nachor u'malchuto v'emunato la'ad kayamet.
We're at the bottom of on page 158 for Mi Chamocha.
As the Israelites sang responsively with Miriam and Moses, we invite you to sing this melody responsively with us. Mi chamocha,
Mi Chamocha,
Ba'elim Adonai,
Ba'elim Adonai,
Mi chamocha,
Mi Chamocha,
Nedar b'kodesh,
Nedar b'kodesh,
Mi chamocha,
Mi Chamocha,
Ba'elim Adonai,
Ba'elim Adonai,
Mi chamocha,
Mi Chamocha,
Nedar b'kodesh,
Nedar b'kodesh,
Torah tehilot,
Torah tehilot,
Osef eleh,
Osef eleh,
Torah tehilot,
Torah tehilot,
Osef eleh.
Osef
All together now.
eleh.
Mi chamocha, ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha, nedar b'kodesh, Torah tehilot, Osef eleh, Osef eleh. Mi chamocha, ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha, nedar b'kodesh, Torah tehilot, Osef eleh. שירה חדשה, שמחו גאולים, שירה חדשה, שמחו גאולים לשמך, השפת היום. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, תורה תהילות, אוסף אלך, אוסף אלך. יחד כולם הודו והמליכו ואמרו אדוני לעולם Just our voices. Mi chamocha, ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha, nedar b'kodesh, Torah tehilot, Osef eleh, Osef eleh. Mi chamocha, ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha, nedar b'kodesh, Torah tehilot, Osef eleh. Sur Israel, kuma be'ezrat Israel, uvteichinu mecha, Yehuda be'Israel. Go'aleinu, Adonai tzvaot shemo, Kedosh Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Ga'al Israel.
We'll rise together, page 159, as we begin the Amidah with our B'nai Mitzvah students, and we'll continue standing through the own private meditations at the end of page 166. Page 159.
Elohei Sarah
מקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום. ככתוב על יד נביאך, וקרא זה אל זה ואמר, קדוש 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוך הארץ כבודו. אז בקול רעש גדול, אדיר וחזק משמיעים פה. אז בקול רעש גדול, אדיר וחזק משמיעים פה. מתנסים לעומת סרפים, מתנסים לעומת סרפים, מתנסים לעומת סרפים, לעומתם ברוך יאמרו, ברוך כבוד אדוני במקומו.
במקומך מלכנו טובים ותמלוך עלינו כמרגלים.
ממקומך מלכנו תופיע ותמלוך עלינו, כי מחכים אנחנו לך. מתי תמלוך בציון, וקרוב בימינו לעולם העת תשכון. תתגדל ותתקדש בתוך ירושלים עירך, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, ולנצח נצחים. עינינו תראינה מלכותך, כדבר האמור בשירי עוזך, על ידי דוד משיח צדקך. ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהי ציון, לדור ודור, הללויה.
לדור ודור, לדור ודור, נגיד גודלך. ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש, ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד. כי המלך גדול וקדוש אתה, ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
We continue silently through page 166. play on page 167.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, אמן. בעלמא דברה קירותי וימליך מלכותי, וחי יכונים ובחורף חיי תכל בית ישראל, בעגלה בזמן קריב ואמרו, אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך, לעולם עולם לעלמיה, יתברך, יתברך, וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתהלל ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו. לעילא מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירן בעלמא ויאמרו אמן. תתקבץ צלותיהן ובאותיהן דכל ישראל קודמון ושמי ויאמרו אמן. יהי שלום רב מן שמיה וחיים עלינו והכויסל ויאמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל ויאמרו
As we transition into the Torah service, we're on page 168. In a moment, the ark will be open, and if you were honored with the opening of the ark, you can come forward at this time. And to our B'nai Mitzvah students, you'll be coming forward in just a couple of moments. Page 168 for Seder Hotzat Torah.
כי מציון תצא תורה ודבר אדוני מירושלים. כי מציון תצא תורה ודבר אדוני מירושלים. ברוך שנתן תורה לעמו, תורה ישראל. ברוך שנתן תורה לעמו ישראל בקדושתו. כי מציון תצא תורה ודבר אדוני מירושלים. כי מציון תצא תורה ודבר אדוני מירושלים.
We're at the bottom of page 170, Be'anarachetz.
Be'anarachetz ולשמי קדישה, קדישה יקירה, אנא אמר תושבחן. Be'anarachetz, Be'anarachetz ולשמי קדישה, קדישה יקירה, אנא אמר תושבחן. יהי ראווה קודמך דתפתח ליבי ואורייתא ותשלים משאלין דליבי וליבה דכל עמך ישראל לטבו לחיים ולשלום. Amen. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Echad Eloheinu Gadol Adonenu Kadosh Shemo. Gadol Adonai Tiunerome Mashemo Yachdav. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu vehishtachave tchavu lehar kocho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu vehishtachavu lehar kocho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu.
You may be seated. On occasions like this morning, I think we think about marking time and the way that time becomes sacred. Marking time is one of the central messages of the parsha we're reading this morning, Emor. We learn all about how the Israelites can be a holy people, how they can sanctify themselves and live holy lives. And one way to live a holy life is to follow the Jewish calendar. And this parsha gives us a lot of detail about how to observe the calendar, starting with this statement, speak, Emor, speak to the Israelite people and say to them, these are my fixed times, the fixed times of God, which you shall proclaim as sacred occasions. And the commentators hone in on the phrase, which you shall proclaim as sacred occasions. Because it's not that God proclaims them for us, but we ourselves have to proclaim them. We have to be the ones who mark time. We have to make the Shabbat special. We have to make each holiday special. It's not on God, it's on us. And sometimes we're lucky enough to have occasions like today, the adult B'nai Mitzvah of 6 fabulous members of our incredible communities, and we don't have to work that hard to make the day special. It's really special on its own. So as we read Torah in just a moment, we'll know that the holiness of this day, of this Shabbat, of this very special Shabbat, comes not just from God, but from and by all of us, and especially the 6 of you. So we're going to begin reading Torah now. You can put away the Siddur, you can take out the Chumash. That's the larger, darker red book with Eitz Chaim on the front. And we're on page 727. And we'll invite up Rachel, who's going to be the first one. And you can follow along. We are in Leviticus chapter 23, verse 23.
ויעזור ויגן ויושיע לכל החוסים בו ונאמר אמן. הכל הבו גודל אלוהינו ותנו כבוד לתורה. תעמוד רחל בת אברהם ושרה ראשונה. ברוך שנתן תורה לעמו ישראל בקדושתו, ואתם הדבקים באדוני אלוהיכם חיים כולכם היום.
Shabbat Shalom, Boker Tov, everyone. Thank you for being here and online. Each of us, B'nai Mitzvah students, were invited to share some words of the significance of this moment, and I promised that I'd keep it, to a half hour. I kid. Listen to me, trying to be Elon Gold, the Jewish Seinfeld. Anyway, in all seriousness, many of you are probably curious how the Jewish soul within me was awakened to bring me to this very moment. However, again, time thing, guess we'll just have to get together to chat for that fuller account. For now, suffice it to say that one of the many beautiful ideas that I personally love that we say within our tradition is this idea that our Torah Parsha chooses us. And given that mine is about Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year, this notion ever rings true for me. Even now, I'm wearing the very dress that I wore for this just past Rosh Hashanah, in that it was significant since my official entrance into our tribe took place on the 26th of Elul, 5781, or September 3rd, 2021, 3 days before Rosh Hashanah. So I am just thankful that I got to gain a new and blessed, wonderful, incredible family and set of friends, and you all present, watching online, and, well, watching after Shabbat, for those of you who are Shomer or otherwise aren't able. So I'm just thankful for you beautiful West Hills Shomrei Torah in particular. I further inherited a new diet in observing kashrut and even a new sense of time, like Rabbi Gokul just referenced, about observance of the lunar Jewish calendar from when our days start in the evening prior to Shabbat itself, like Joshua Heschel says, as far as a palace in time, and of course the various Yom Tovs, Chagim, or Jewish holidays. That all said, I want to spend the rest of this few moments to just express thanks for all the love and support that got me to this precise moment, this blessed Shekianu moment. Of course, Adonai, Baruch Hashem, my mother, Adarunke, Christiana, Rivka, Ormelade, Zikrona, Levracha, blessed memory, and her parents, my grandparents, both Zikrona, Levracha, Joshua and Victoria, or Yehoshua Vamaka, my Hebrew teachers, Cantor Jackie Raffi, Chazan Mike Stein, Chazan Joel Smith, the rabbis, of course, Rabbi Kamras, Rabbi Helpin, and officially such on Monday, Rabbi Vogel and Rabbi Gokul, and even administration like Seth Brunt and his team that ensured the remote Shomrei services and events could be accessed by someone like me who actually lived all the way in Pennsylvania when I found Shomrei Torah and flew in for this. And of course, I thank all of you and this beautiful Kihila who makes Shomrei Torah what it is. I wish I had the time to shout out names of all of those of you particularly connected with me, but you know who you are, and I appreciate and honor you. Toda Rabbah. Finally, I just want to do also some thanks to East Coast influences, like my Hebrew teacher and mentor through National Jewish Outreach Program, David Pine, Esquire, the JTS rabbinic intern who will also be ordained next week, Rabbi Kendall Pinkney with Amud. Shout out to my sister, Catherine, Dad Shmuel, Samuel, brother-in-law Dwight, my nephew Isaiah, and his little one brother en route, cousin Joel Roberts, Irv, and Felice Rubenstein, Irish friend and fellow New Triber, Sean Dunn Egerton, and my Florida Jewish friends from middle and high school, as well as the AJU program, Rabbi Adam Greenwald and crew. So love you all, Toda Rabbah, fellow learners of Torah, for this ride this past year and a half. It was wild, and we had to go through some uncertain times. However, we made it through, and we also have only just begun. So mazel tov to you all. You'll hear me say in the Torah about Zikron Teruah, blast the shofar, so yeah. Baruch et Adonai Hamvorach. Baruch Adonai Hamvorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch ata Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch ata Adonai noten ha'torah. Vayidaber Adonai el Moshe le'mor, daber el bnei Yisrael le'mor, b'chodesh hashvi'i b'echad lachodesh yeh lachem Shabbaton zikron teruah mikra kodesh. Kol malechet avodah lo ta'asu vayikravtem ishet l'Adonai. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu not torat emet v'chayei olam nota betuchenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Yishar kochech to Rachel. So proud of you. Well, we're going to hold our excitement for everyone at the end. We're going to call up Lori Schlisman next. And for the B'nai Mitzvah students who remain, you'll come up here one Aliyah before yours and bring your speech with you when you do. Page 728, Leviticus chapter 23, verse 26.
Ta'amod, ta'amod, ta'amod. Habat mitzvah, Leah bat Abraham v'Sarah, sheni chizki, chizki.
I don't know how to follow that. Thank you, son. Shalom, everyone. I am so happy to be here today to experience my bat mitzvah with you all. Please allow me to share a bit of my Jewish journey that brought me to this wonderful day. I grew up in a small, close, and loving family, but largely because of my physical differences, I was a social outcast from about age 13. When the religious faith in which I was raised left me cold and empty in my teens, I started searching for something that made sense of the world and that spoke to me in my isolation and loneliness. Judaism, with its diversity, complex views, soaring faith, and simple grounded realism, called out to me. I began attending a conservative synagogue in Chicago and fell in love with the faith, the history, and the people who showed me so much chesed. Eventually, when I was 18, I went through formal conversion. My family supported me completely. The more I learned, the more I came to believe I always had a Jewish soul, regardless of my family lineage. The idea that all converts already have a Jewish spark actually comes from Deuteronomy chapter 29, verse 13. On the last day of Moses' life, God spoke to our people, saying, "Not with you alone do I seal this covenant and oath. I am making it both with those here today before the Lord our God, and also with those not here today." And those here today refers to souls, not necessarily the people who were physically present. The Talmud explains that this also refers to future converts whose souls were also at Sinai. These words thoroughly cemented my feeling that I'd always been Jewish in my heart and my soul, if not by blood. I converted at age 18 and began to live as a committed Jew. After college, though, there was no Jewish community within reach, and gradually I fell away. Through the years, I felt so much shame and guilt, most especially that I finally and truly home. For me, having my adult bat mitzvah is a culmination of every joy I feel as a Jew and a member of this community. It's a visible second expression of my complete and utter commitment to living life as a Jew and to you, my community. By the time I was able to take the adult B'nai Mitzvah class, I had been studying and learning for many years, largely on my own. But our wonderful rabbis and hazanim shed new light in every session, and I've learned so much more. One of the many standout moments was when we talked about what brought us to this class. It was fascinating to hear the ways in which our stories were sometimes so different, yet would bring each of us together in this moment. The classes provided so many opportunities to learn, to engage with our clergy, and to learn from each other, whether our journeys are similar or different. It is. Put this over here. Thank you. Thank you.
Page 728, verse 26.
Okay, might get there. Baruch hu et Adonai hamavarach.
Baruch Adonai Baruch Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai hamavarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'Torah.
Amen.
Vayidaber Adonai el Moshe lemor, ach ve'asor lachodesh hashvi'i ha'ikaper alechem lifnei Adonai Elohechem. Ki kol hanefesh asher lo ta'una be'etzem hayom hazeh v'nikrafta me'a me'a v'kol hanefesh asher ta'aseh kol melacha be'etzem hayom hazeh v'havadati et hanefesh hahi mikerev hama kol melacha lo ta'asu hukat olam ledorotechem mikol mishvotechem Shabbaton hu lachem ve'initem et nashotechem v'tisha lachodesh me'erev ad erev tishbatu Shabbatchem. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chaye olam nata betochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Yamdu. Miriam bat Zelvavela ve Reuven Levi ben Avraham the Aliyah Shlishit. The third Aliyah continues on page 729, chapter 23, verses 33 to 44. Page 729.
Baruch hu et Adonai hamvorach. Baruch Adonai hamvorach leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. V'daber Adonai el Moshe lemor. Daber el bnei Yisrael lemor. V'chamisha asar yom. L'chodesh hashvi'i hazeh. Chag HaSukkot. Shivat yamim l'Adonai. Bayam harishon mikra kodesh kol malachet avodah lo tasu shivat yamim tikra'u ishel Adonai bayam hashmini mikra kodesh yehiyah lachem v'hikrabtem ishel Adonai atzeret hi kol malachet avodah lo tasu elam moadei Adonai asher tikra'u otam mikrei kodesh lichakriv ishel Adonai olam mincha zevach u'nesachim tabar yom v'yomo milvad shivat yamim Shabbatot yam Adonai u'milvad matnotechem v'milvad kol Nidrach, kol nidrachim, umilvad kol nidrachim, asher titnu l'Adonai, ach b'chamishi asar yom lechodesh hashvi'i, lechodesh hashvi'i, v'aspechem et tevuat haaretz, techagu et chag Adonai shivat yamim, v'yom harishon Shabbaton, v'ayom hashmi'i Shabbaton, v'lachtem lachem v'yom harishon pri etz hadar kapot temarim ve'anach etz avot ve'arbei nachal v'samachtem lifnei Adonai Elohim Shabbat Adonai Elohim Shivat Yamim V'chagotem oto chag Adonai Shivat Yamim Bashana Chukat Olam L'Dorotechem V'chodesh Hashvi'i Chag Tachogu oto V'sukkot Teshvu Shivat Yamim Kol HaYizrach B'Yisrael Yeshvu B'Sukkot L'man Yedu Dorotechem Ki B'Sukkot Hashavti et B'nei Yisrael V'hotzi'i otam me'eretz Mitzrayim Ani Adonai Elohechem Idaber Moshe et Moadei Adonai el B'nei Yisrael.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Yishar Kochechem, and thank you so much to Ellen Cervantes, past president, I believe, of Shomrei Torah Synagogue. We're so happy to have you reading Torah here. For the fourth Aliyah, we call forward Karen Amberwitz. We are on page 731, Leviticus chapter 24, verse 1.
Ta'amod, Habat mitzvah, Gittel Chaya bat Reuven, Herschel v'Chana Esther, Revi, Fizki.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us on this very special day. I have to say, in my 49 years, I have accomplished a lot in my personal and professional life. I grew up in a conservative home, and I'm so grateful my parents instilled in me a strong and proud Jewish identity. In fact, my parents' love of opening their home to friends and loved ones for feast and festivity is something that I cherish doing. Other Jewish virtues that come to mind is my affection of baking tasty Jewish delicacies and being the quintessential Jewish mother, defined in the Urban Dictionary as an unstoppable force of nature that will feed you, pamper you, and pester you. My daughters would agree to that, and probably my husband too. In spite of these few details, I've always recognized there was one significant piece of my Jewish life that had not been fulfilled. I felt my understanding of the meaning and substance of Jewish history and practice was lacking. That has all changed thanks to this adult B'nai Mitzvah program and my firm commitment to learning. Not only was I educated from an exceptional group of clergy, but I was able to study with a group of wonderful people, Charles, Lori, Justina, Flora, and Rachel. Although it was challenging balancing life, work, and my daughter's softball practice, I stand proudly as part of this community celebration today, having completed my bat mitzvah training and publicly affirming my Jewish identity and commitment. As part of this culmination, I am so honored to be reading from the Torah this morning. My Torah reading focuses on God speaking to Moses, commanding the people of Israel to bring pure oil for the lamp so that a light may be kept shining regularly. Not only is a light a powerful spiritual symbol in Jewish tradition, it also relates to my life in so many ways. For me, light is a symbol of celebration, an icon of hope, and a provider of guidance. And even in my most trying time of my life, my battle with cancer, the shining light was always a formidable reminder that life is ever so precious and can never be taken for granted. I can only wish to instill these beliefs in my daughters. Furthermore, I feel confident that I can guide and support my girls as they prepare for the B'nai Mitzvah just around the corner. I know they will shine brightly. Before I conclude, I'd like to take a few minutes to thank all the people who have helped me to reach this special day. To the rabbis, Vogel, Kamras, Galko, and Helfen, thank you for your wisdom and guidance. Thank you to Hassan Stein, Rafi, and Smith for always being so positive, patient, and inspiring me to learn. To my fellow classmates, it has been such a pleasure to share this experience with you. To my husband, James, thank you for loving, supporting, and always having faith in me, especially during the times I didn't think I could make it. To my beloved daughters, Riley and Cindy, thank you for always being patient and understanding that dinner was typically late on Tuesdays. Thank you to the special friends that are here to share this special day with me. Finally, my heart and soul feel complete. Thank you, and Mazel Tov.
Page 731, chapter 24, verse number 1.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah. V'daber Adonai el Moshe lemor, zav et b'nei Yisrael, v'kihu elecha, shemen zayit zach, katit lamaor, leha'alot ner tamid, mihut lefarochet ha'edut be'ohel moed. Ya'aroch oto Aharon me'erev ad boker lifnei Adonai tamid hukat olam ledorotechem al hamenorah ha'teorah Ya'arok et hanerot lifnei Adonai tamid. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet V'ha'ye olam Nata betuchenu, Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen.
Yishar kochech, Karen. We're going to take a moment now and say a prayer for those in our communities and beyond who are in need of healing. We know there are so many people, perhaps you in the sanctuary or you joining us by live stream. We're thinking of those in Ukraine as well who could use so much healing. And for anyone out there in need of physical, spiritual, any kind of healing, we're thinking of you as we join together in Misha Beirach.
To make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen.
As I pass my hand over the crowd, please feel free to say the names out loud of those you're thinking of who are in need of healing. We pray for healing for all of those.
Mishe Beirach imotenu mekor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
We continue now with the fifth Aliyah, and we invite up Flora Coles.
Tamod, Tzipora bat Shaul, Eliezer verivka, Chamishi.
Thank you all for being here to celebrate this special occasion with us. Well, my formal Jewish education was limited to attending Hebrew school when I was around 6 years old, and my fondest memories of that time was learning the Aleph Bet and my father taking my sister and me to shul on Shabbat. I felt so happy when all the kids were called to the bima for the Kiddush and singing songs. We were living in Toronto at the time and then moved to the Fairfax area in Los Angeles when I was 9 years old. My father attended services at a small Orthodox shul on Fairfax, and he would bring us with him, but we mostly stayed outside and played with the other kids. As a teen, I belonged to Habonim, a Zionist youth organization, and made my first trip to Israel when I graduated from high school. I was fortunate to attend Brandeis Camp Institute when I was 20, where for 1 month I experienced Judaism 24/7. Although I did not have a formal Jewish religious education, there's no doubt that being Jewish was ingrained in my soul. It's who I am. My parents were Holocaust survivors, and their experiences, without a doubt, affected us. Fast forward a couple of years, I met and married Nissan of blessed memory, an Israeli. We moved to the Valley, started a family, and joined Congregation Beth Kodesh in the early 80s when our oldest child started preschool. I was busy working, raising a family, dealing with the daily stresses of life, like many women. I actually started my bat mitzvah studies with Cantor Avram Schwartz of blessed memory, but after a few sessions, I decided the time wasn't right and I didn't continue. After retiring and Nissan's passing, I felt the time was right to start my bat mitzvah studies. I'm now experiencing the same excitement that I felt when I was that 6-year-old little girl learning the Aleph Bet and going up to the bima. Participating in the B'nai Mitzvah program, as well as other educational programs available to us, has fostered a love of learning again, and I never want it to end. A big thank you to the amazing and brilliant clergy You're such a wealth of knowledge and wisdom. And thank you to my fellow students. It was really pleasurable and fun learning with you. Thanks to my family, friends, and fellow congregants. You're all amazing and very supportive. And I just want to end by saying that I'm so grateful and blessed, truly blessed. Thank you.
Laura's reading can be found on page 731, chapter 24, verse 5.
Baruch atah Adonai Elohim. I'm sorry. Baruch et Adonai Hamvorach. Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher bahar banu mikol hamim. V'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Hold on, we gotta find it. Yeah. Let's see, you are the Mitzvah Aliyah, right? Where are we here? Okay, pick me up.
That's not it.
Yeah.
That's not it.
It's supposed to be the 5th.
Yeah, I know. That's not right.
That's because somebody rolled it wrong. See, that's his bar.
God, don't scare me. Vilakakta solet ve'afita ota shetayim esrei chalot shnei esronim yihye hachala ha'echad v'samta otam shtayim marachot sheshama arachet al hashulchan hatahor lifnei Adonai v'natata al hamareket levo nahazaka v'haita lalechim le'askara ishe l'Adonai B'yom HaShabbat, Yarkeinu lifnei Adonai, Tamid met b'nei Yisrael, Berit olam, V'haita leharon, V'lach ulevana v'chal b'makom kadosh ki kodesh kodashim hu lo me'ishe Adonai olam. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah temet v'chayei olam nata betortenu Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Yishar kochech to Flora. For the 6th Aliyah, we call up Charles Mond.
Ya'amod, Ya'amod, Ya'amod. Yechiel ben Shmuel ve'Esther, Shishi, Chazak, Chazak, Chazak. Suck.
Anyway, my name is Charles Bond. I've been a part of this temple for about 5 years, and I think I have the shortest speech here. And I'll start it in a second. Hello, everyone. This is a very special day for me. It is an adult bar mitzvah day. I am over 65. Why would I want a bar mitzvah at my age? This is the $64,000 question. Part of the reason I was born Jewish and was mostly secular. I went to Hebrew school in Philadelphia, but had problems because of a troubled family. I have always felt Jewish, and I always had Jewish friends. At my age, I wish to affirm my Judaism and get involved more on a formal basis. I feel that in order to be fully accepted and respected by the Jewish community, that I should learn more and have a bar mitzvah. Later in life, some of my religious extended family encouraged me to be part of the Jewish community. Growing up, I had a hard life that is now over, but it educated me that not everyone has a good life. In my adult life, I had mazel. 3 years after coming to LA, I got married to my dear wife, Florence, under the chuppah at Temple Beth Am here in Los Angeles. We were married for 40 years until her sad death. I was a CPA with a master's degree, and she was an attorney. We worked hard and did many wonderful things, such as travel to Israel and many other places. We had mazel with all the property that we acquired slowly over the years for our potential retirement. We did better than expected. Unfortunately, we were inactive from a religious point of view. We were secular, but we strongly identified as Jews. Getting involved with Temple Aliyah is one of the best things I ever did. I studied Hebrew and religion. I took some Hebrew classes first and then studied for over a year and a half to prepare for this day. I eventually got a sense of belonging and feeling part of the Jewish community. I wish to thank the clergy for their excellent help and guidance, and I hope to further my learning. I stand before you today, my Temple Aliyah and community and humbled friends, for a grateful honor and privilege of being able to freely learn and study Judaism with so many of you who have made me feel accepted, supported, and loved. Okay. Baruch et Adonai him v'rak. Baruch Adonai him v'rak le'olam vayed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Melech ha'olam asher bahar banu mikol ha'omin v'yad Natan v'tah lanu et Torato Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Vayetzei ben Isha Yisraelit Vahu ben Ish Mitzri Batok ben Yisrael Vayinatsu B'Makadeh Ben Israelite Isha Haviish Ya Israel El Vayikov Ben Ha'isha Ha'Yisraelite et Hashem Vayi kolal, vayi viu, ot, el Moshe, Vashem, imo, shalomit, bat divri, vamake, hu, vayami hu, bamishmor, lifrosh, lahem al pi Adonai. I didn't do too good. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam asher natan lanu Torah imet v'hayeh tolam nata batukenu Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen. Yasher Koach, Charles. We invite forward David Bruskin, who will be reading the 7th Aliyah, and I believe Ofer is being honored with the 7th Aliyah. You can follow along, page 732, Leviticus chapter 24, verse 13.
יעמוד עופר בן גדעון ואהובה שביעי.
ברכו את אדוני המבורך. ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר בחר בנו מכל העמים ונתן לנו את תורתו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
The 7th Aliyah can be found on page 732, chapter 24, verse 13.
וידבר אדוני אל משה לאמור, הוצא את המקלל אל מחוץ למחנה, וסמכו כל השומעים את ידיהם על ראשו, ורגמו אותו כל העדה. ואל בני ישראל תדבר לאמור, איש איש כי יקלל אלוהיו, ונשא חטאו, ונוקב שם אדוני מות יומת. רגום ירגמו בו כל העדה, כגר כאזרח, ונקבו שם יומת. ואיש כי יכר כל נפש אדם מות יומת, ומכה נפש בהמה ישלמנה נפש תחת נפש. ואיש כי ייתן מום בעמיתו, כאשר עשה כן יעשה לו. שבר תחת שבר, עין תחת עין, שן תחת שן, כאשר ייתן מום באדם, כן יינתן בו. ומכה בהמה ישלמנה, ומכה אדם יומת. משפט אחד יהיה לכם, כגר כאזרח יהיה, כי אני אדוני אלוהיכם. וידבר משה אל בני ישראל, ויוציאו את המקלל אל מחוץ למחנה, וירגמו אותו אבן, ובני ישראל עשוהו כאשר ציווה אדוני את משה.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר נתן לנו תורת אמת וחיי עולם נטע בתוכנו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
Amen. Yasher Koach. Thank you so much to David Bruskin for reading Torah for us. Chatzi Kaddish.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, ועמד דברי חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון ויומכון, ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה בעגלה. בזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמירה ומבורך לעלם לעלמי עלמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה ברכו לעילה מן כה ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירן בעלמה ואמרו Amen.
You may be seated. We call forward for the Maftir Aliyah, Justina Schiller.
Ta'amod, Danit bat Avraham v'Sarah, Maftira.
Good morning and Shabbat Shalom. Charles, I will beat you with the shortest speech as we look forward to the wonderful Kiddush luncheon that will be provided after services today. My Jewish journey was not of any formal learning experience. My influences, my biggest influence is my husband Ami and his lineage, the Schiller lineage. And then along the way, we met several members of the Jewish community and educators and rabbis and congregants that really shaped and paved the way for me. A haiku to represent my journey in Judaism. To love is chesed. Judaism embodies. Values create peace. Today marks a meaningful step forward as I chant from the Torah and become B'nai Mitzvah. I have learned that engaging in the traditions and customs deepen my connection to Judaism. My path of Jewish life continues to pave itself through personal reflection and prayer, family, and communities. With gratitude, I would like to thank Shomrei Torah Synagogue and Temple Aliyah for their collective adult B'nai Mitzvah program. Rabbis Kamras, Helfand, Vogel, Gokul, Hazan Stein, Smith, and Cantarafi. Their wisdom and teachings have enriched my Judaism. To my fellow B'nai Mitzvah classmates, Rachel, Flora, Lori, Karen, and Charles in the program for their commitment, insight, and camaraderie. It has been my pleasure learning with them these past 2 years, and I look forward to staying connected. Lastly, I'd like to thank my family and friends, my husband Ami, my daughters Abby and Naomi, my Hebrew and Torah trainer, co-tutor, my brother John, who is regularly seated at our Shabbat dinner table, my parents, Vyangpet and Bunyang, for their love and understanding in my journey, my mother-in-law and father-in-law, Beverly and David Schiller, and all of the Schiller family extension for their continued love and support in my path. The awesome tribe of my friends and their families for creating a community that sustains Jewish life for our kids. Thank you, Shabbat Shalom, and Mazel Tov.
The Maftir Aliyah, which Justina will chant in a moment, is page 733, chapter 24, verse 21.
Hold on. There we go. That's better. Finishing petition right here. Blessing now, please.
Baruch hu et Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah. Umake vehema ishalmena, umake Adam yumat. Mishpat echad yihye lachem, kager kaezra yihye ki ani Adonai Elohechem. Vayidaber Moshe el bnei Yisrael, vayotziu et hamkalel el michutz lamachane, vayirgemu oto aven uvnei Yisrael asu kasher siva Adonai et Moshe. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet v'hayei olam nata betochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Yishar kochech, Justina.
Simen tovu, mazel tov, simen tov, simen tovu, mazel tov, mazel tov.
Ya'amod. Please rise for the lifting of the Torah. Amagbiya ta'amod hagolelet.
We rise for the lifting and dressing of the Sefer Torah.
V'zot haTorah asher sa Moshe livnei bnei Yisrael al pi Adonai b'yad Moshe.
As the Torah is being wrapped, you all can remain standing for just a moment, but we're going to try and pivot to our B'nai Mitzvah students. Charles, Flora, Justina, Karen, Lori, and Rachel. Mazal tov to each of you on making it to this day. Now take a big, deep breath. The hard part is over. It has been such a pure blessing and joy to be able to be along with this journey with you all as you prepare diligently for your B'nai Mitzvot. When we started this journey together a year and a half ago, I had no idea what the adventure would be like. Learning together with you all and hearing about your progression with your studies filled my heart with so much pride and holy work that you had done to get to where you are now. You've all led by example and paved the path for future students and for future learners. Flora, Justina, and Rachel, on behalf of Shomrei Torah Synagogue, the clergy, the community, and myself want to offer each of you a special blessing. Justina, you've embraced this B'nai Mitzvah training with expert dedication and passion. It is so special that you get to share this process with your daughter Naomi, who will be called to the Torah in the coming weeks. Justina, may you continue to grow as a leader in the Jewish community, and continue to develop and share your love for Jewish life with those that you interact with. Mazal tov. Flora, it has been a gift to learn with you and hear your stories and be present for your incredible questions. While you might have been nervous about this day becoming a bat mitzvah, you've shown bravery and grace this morning with your bat mitzvah. May you continue to participate in our community in both learning and service participation for many years to come. Mazal tov. And Rachel, you always have such a smile on your face. It radiates through the windows of our Zoom screens and now here in person. We are so blessed that you've joined us from afar to celebrate this milestone. May you continue to develop your love for the Jewish life, for prayer, music, and community building. In such a short time, you've become an integral part of our community, and for that, we are all so very blessed. To each of you, we say Mazal Tov, Toda Rabah. And I will present to you all three, I should do that first, your certificates of Bat Mitzvah that you should treasure and remember that this is only the beginning of much more participation, learning, and community growing together. Mazal Tov.
I mentioned before we began reading Torah that this parsha reminds us that we ourselves have to create the holiness in the holy moments of our lives. And you, all 6 of you, Justina, Flora, Rachel, Lori, Karen, Charles, you have brought that holiness to us this morning. It's one thing to become bar or bat mitzvah at 12 or 13, but to take this on later in life is inspirational. You all have worked so hard, attending class each week over the past year and a half, building community with each other, learning new Hebrew and prayer skills, writing speeches and rehearsing for this day. And as you know well, this day is not the end. Today is an unforgettable moment, one of those sacred moments in your life, just like the sacred days mentioned in this parsha. And it's a chance to become even more invested in the Jewish people and in our Jewish community. And we're all just so proud of you and can't wait to see how far you'll continue to go. To our Aliyah students, Karen, you took on this huge time commitment in the midst of a busy time in your family's life. You wanted to learn the prayers as your kids learned them too, and you've achieved so much. May your family always be an inspiration for you, just as I know you are for them and for our entire community. Charles, you began this journey in order to be more respected, like you told us in your speech. And along the way, I think you realized that you gained that respect just by showing how hard you were working and beginning to show your vulnerability. May the Jewish community always be a source of love and respect for you from this day forward. Lori, you never shy away from learning more prayers and more Torah readings and more Hebrew, and the rest of us have learned so much from you as well. You have truly found your home here in our community. May you always remain hungry for more Jewish learning and involvement, and may you see yourself as the wise and knowledgeable Jew that we all see you as. Now we have a blessing as I present the certificates to the 3 Aliyah students. We have a blessing from Rabbis Vogel and Cameras to all of you.
It's our honor to be able to bless you officially.
May the Lord bless you and guard you. May the Lord shine God's countenance upon each and every one of you. May the Lord's light continue to shine forth within each of your hearts and souls as you bring that light into the world, so that we may say, Amen.
Rise and join with us for Shehechianu and celebrate this special moment for our 6 students.
Baruch atah
about to return the Torah to the ark, so if you've been honored with opening the ark, we'll invite you to come forward, and we'll remain standing as the ark is opened, back in the Siddur, page 183.
Eit Chaim hi lamachazikim ba v'tom cha meushar diracheha darchei noam v'chol netivoteha shalom hashivenu Adonai elecha v'nashuva Chadish Chadish Yameinu Chadish Yameinu keketem.
We remain standing now for the Musaf Amidah. You can find it from page 185 to 192, and we invite you to take this time for personal prayer and reflection. You can pray in the Hebrew, in the English, or whatever prayers are in your heart.
Shalom Aleinu Me'al Kol Yisrael Ve'imru Amen Uyaseh Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael Amen Oseh Shalom Shalom Bimromav Uyaseh Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael Ve'imru Amen Ve'al Kol
You may be seated for a moment if you like. Page 203, Kaddish Shalem.
יתגרח גרש מרבה, ויעלמה דברה קירותי, וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון וחיי לכל בית ישראל, בגלה בזמן קריב, ואמרו אמן, יהי שמי רבה מבורך, לעולם ולעולמי עולמיה, יתברך. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ותעלה שמי לקודשה בריחו לעין מכל ברכתה ושירתה תשבחתה ונחמתה דמירם בעלמה ואמרו אמן תתקבל צרות ההון ובתהון דכל ישראל קדום בהון דבישמיא ואמרו אמן יהי שלום רבה משמיא וחיים עלינו בכל ישראל ואמרו אמן עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום. עלינו בכל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל, ואמרו
Amen. We rise for Aleinu, page 205.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמענו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ובונים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושב יקרוב השמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו, ושכינתו זו, בגובה מרומים. הוא אלוהינו אדון, אבן מלכנו אפס וזרתו, כך כתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשב אותה אל לבבך. בשמיים ממעל ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד דרכי לקבל כך כתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא, יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו, ושמו, ושמו אחד.
You may be seated. 3 quick comments before Mourner's Kaddish. The first one is a thanks to both of our communities, Shomrei Torah Synagogue, Temple Aliyah, for accommodating this first time ever joint adult B'nai Mitzvah class, where we came together last night at Shomrei Torah and this morning at Temple Aliyah, and it reminds us of the endless capacity for our communities to find ways to come together in celebration and communal worship. So yasher koach to everybody. That's number one. Number two is to the adult B'nai Mitzvah class. What an inspiration. Each one of you remind us of the incredible spark of light that we have inside of each of us. and if only for the proper opportunities and teachers in our life to make that spark shine more brightly through the experience of studying Torah. Your speeches this morning were incredibly inspirational. And for all of you who are sitting in this kihila today or watching online, if you have not had the chance as an adult, as a child, or now as an adult to become bar or bat mitzvah, we hope that in the future when our synagogues provide a new opportunity for a class that you will take your inspiration from the 6 men and women this morning who indeed were inspiring. And finally, now we remember those who yortzites are this week, those from Shomrei Torah Synagogue, and in a minute from Temple Aliyah. For the 13th to the 19th of ER, John Berger, Sonia Burrell, Harold Berman, Fanny Blank, Samuel Bram, Eva Braverman, Maxine Carroll, Irvin Citronbaum, Leslie Cole, Jack Diamond, Victor Donath, Jacob Eget, Doris Freeman, Maurice Glass, Morris Gleimer, Bonnie Greenberg, Bernard Hans, Victor Hernandez, Solomon Haytow, Jacob Katz, Sarah Keller, Benjamin Koslowski, Lillian Levin, Jerry Levitz, Celia Malinovich, Marilyn Maddie, Francine Mazzi, Pearl Megdal, Max Mizell, Rose Nathanson, Nat Nakanovsky, Ruth Ostrin, Irving Pechter, Sam Perez, Herman Rosenberg, Samuel Saul, Alan Siebler, Yetta Singer, Sherwin Small, Toby Traeger, William Unger, Gohar Yashar, Leona Zidel, Margot Zitron. May each of their souls and memories be a blessing to their loved ones.
From the Temple Aliyah community on this Shabbat, remember the memories and the blessings as they inspire us each and every day. The souls of Daniel Alpert, Julian Aroesti, James Buckner, Abraham Blumenthal, Pauline Boydell, Pearl Brooke, Sadie Cohen, Ike Cohn, Sarah Collin, Dina Elprin, Harry Ellsberg, Dorothy Engel, Dorothy Fagan, Anna Fox, Gary Frieden, Gerald Garnett, Molly Hart, Abraham Jacoby, Francis Kessler, Lena Kleinman, Devorah Kluckman, Peter Kovetsky, Lorraine Krohn, Daniel Leibel, Nathan Lubell, Dora Malovitz, Miriam Malovitz, Yona Mandel, Leo Mansky, Joseph Martin, Gertrude Meyer, Araj Omrani, Beth Pressman, Harriet Radin, Joyce Reisman, Bernard Ryman, Ida Rodich, David Rosenfeld, Jean Sato, Martha Savage, Harry Shopler, Sheldon Schuster, Louis Senensieb, May Shear, Sylvia Sokol, Rachel Solomon, Hortense Strom, Naum Tabachnik, Lloyd Tassoff, Dorothy Watman, and Eileen Zimet. We're also mindful of the recent bereavements in our community. We mourn the passing of Saul Warshaw, longtime congregant husband of Vivian Warshaw. Saul, who passed away. Funeral will be held on May 23rd, and we'll be sending out details to the congregation. We also mourn the passing of Ruth Herskowitz, the mother of, there you are, Marty. For you and for your family, may you be given strength and comfort from community. For those who have the need or desire to recite the words of the Kaddish, we invite you to rise at this time. And if you're at home and participating by live streaming, and we are your sacred community to recite the words of the Kaddish, we invite you to rise with our minyan for these words of memory and life and affirmation as we join together in the Kaddish. Yit gadal v'yit kadash shemei rabba. Amen. V'yalmad yivrach yerutei v'yamlich malchutei. V'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael. Bagalal v'zman kariv v'meru. Amen. Yehi shmei rabba mavorach le'olam u'me'omaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yitalev v'yitalal. Shemei d'kudesha brichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechmata. Namiran v'meru. Shama Rabba Min Shemaya, V'chaim Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'meru. Amen. Oseh Shalom B'mromav, Hu Yaseh Shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'al kol Yoshvei Tevel, v'yimeru. Amen. May God who establishes peace in the heavens grant peace and harmony for us, all of Israel, and all of humanity, as we say, Amen. You may be seated. My pleasure to call forward the president of the Temple Aliyah, Debbie Strom, is going to share with us some announcements.
Okay, Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to everyone who's joined us here today in our sanctuary and on our live stream. And we are so happy to have our Shomrei Torah friends with us here today. Mazal Tov to Rachel, Lori, Karen, Flora, Charles, and Justina on your B'nai Mitzvah this morning. At our 4:15 Mincha service this afternoon at Aliyah, Aiden Linka will become a bar mitzvah, and Mazel Tov to Aiden and his family. Tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock, Hazan Mimi leads our monthly Sacred Space service. And this is an intimate, slower-paced service for anyone in search of healing, wholeness, and comfort. This service takes place on Zoom only, but you can visit our live stream page to find the link and also the updated prayer book. Next Friday night at 8 o'clock is our musical Every Third Shabbat service with Rabbi Vogel and Hazan Stein and other musicians. It's May, so this will be our annual Shabbat in Israel. Our gala is tomorrow, one more thing. Next Saturday morning at 10 o'clock, we'll be back here in our sanctuary with the Friedman family to celebrate Benjamin's bar mitzvah. And Rabbi Peretz will join us again as she teaches the third class of her series, Torah of the Moment, Resilience and Hope. That takes place after Kiddush lunch next week, so there's lots of time to get here, even if you're watching on live stream or elsewhere. And I get to announce one last time, tomorrow is our gala. We're honoring our past president, Julie Devine, our dedicated supporters, Robin and Harley Frank, and our fabulous COVID committee. I hope to see many of you there. And this Tuesday evening, May 17th, Men's Club is holding their annual scotch tasting, and it will be in person here immediately following Minyan. This is open to everyone 21 and over, and that's anybody here, anybody watching, welcome to attend. Visit our website or check your emails for more information on this and other upcoming events. Finally, congratulations to Aliyah's rabbinic intern, Evan Sussman, and Shomrei Torah's rabbinic intern, David Helfand, who will both be ordained this coming Monday. We will be collectively saying Lehitraot to you soon, but we know your futures are bright. And is there anything I should announce for? Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Okay, Shabbat Shalom.
We're so honored to share the Bima and bring our communities together. So quick announcements for Shomrei Torah. Wednesday, May 18th, we have our Lag BeOmer celebration. Lots of really fun things, including archery and food. Lots of amazing things. Join us for that. The 20th, Simcha Shabbat, May 20th, Simcha Shabbat. If you have a birthday or an anniversary in May, you're invited to come up for a special blessing and some treats on the 20th. And then June 3rd is our first Shabbat under the stars and my Shabbat send-off. So please join us for that. And then, of course, June 12th, our gala in the garden honoring our dear, dear Judy Garner and Steve Bellenfant. So we hope that you'll join us for that. And then we're going to now, at this time, invite up our B'nai Mitzvah class for Kiddush and Motzi.
Me to do it? Why don't they do Vishamru? We'll just play. Vishamru. Here.
Oh, maybe I should.
Shabbat
right, we'll invite one of you to take a sip symbolically on behalf of all of you. Rachel, you take the sip if you'd like. And one of you can go back with soon-to-be Rabbi Helfand and wash your hands symbolically. Thank you, Justina. As we get ready for motzi, in ancient times, people had to be in a pure state as they approached the altar, so we consider the Shabbat table to be the same today. So Justina will wash her hands, and you'll all join together in the blessing for Nitilat Yadayim, the washing of the hands.
Eloheinu melech haolam, asher nashanu b'mitzvotav, tzivanu
Amen. All right, we hope you'll join with them in the blessing over the challah, the motzi. Lori will symbolically hold them for us.
Somebody want to hold one?
Ready?
Oh dear, that's right. Okay. Okay. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
Amen. Shabbat shalom and mazel tov.
Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Siman tovu, mazel tov, mazel tov, siman tov, siman tovu, mazel tov, mazel tov, siman tov, siman tovu, mazel tov, mazel tov, siman tov. Yehi lanu.
I wish you the best. I'm not going to be there.
When?
Monday.
Are you coming? Are you at shul next
I'm
Shabbat?
going to watch it. Are you going back or you leaving?
No, next Shabbat I'm at shul. I'm just not
shul.
on the bima.
Really?
Stop saying goodbye.
So I'm not coming.
Okay, fine.
I have a question for you. Yeah, what's up?